All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to your very first online lesson. This is lesson 93, Estimating Multiplication and Division Answers. If you have your math book, you can go get it, pause this video, and you can follow along with me. If you happen to not have your math textbook or it's too far away and you don't want to go get it, that's okay. I will project it on the screen here, so you don't really need it, but if you want to follow along, you can. It'll be just like class. All right, estimating multiplication and division. First thing we need to talk about, difference between multiplication and division. So let's talk about multiplication first. What is the answer to a multiplication problem called? The answer to a multiplication problem is called the product. Good. It is called the product. Okay, so we are going to estimate the product of 43 and 29. We're going to estimate the product, so we're multiplying. Estimate the product of 43 and 29. So I'm going to write 43 times 29 over here. But that's not really what we're doing because we're not just solving it 2-digit by 2-digit. We're estimating the product. So the first thing we need to do is round 43 to the nearest 10. 43 rounded to the nearest 10 is 40. Over here you can see 40. And then we round 29 to the nearest 10, which is 30 right here. And then we multiply because we're finding the product, which is multiplication. So then we multiply 40 times 30. Remember our secret with our 2 zeros. We can just kind of forget about those 2 zeros for just a minute and do 4 times 3, which is 12. And then we put the 2 zeros on the end. So it's 1,200. So if we are estimating the product, we need to remember 2 things. One, product means you multiply the numbers. And the second thing we need to remember is that we round the numbers to the nearest 10. So 43 rounded to the nearest 10 is 40, and 29 rounded to the nearest 10 is 30. Okay, so that is what we're doing with example number 1. Now we're going to move on to example number 2. We'll clear this off real quick, and then we will scroll down to number 2. We are estimating the product. Again, product is what? Product is multiplication, the answer to multiplication problem. We're estimating the product of 38 and 53. So we are going to round 38 to the nearest 10. That round to the nearest 10 is 40. We're going to round 53 to the nearest 10, which is 50. We're going to multiply 40 times 50. We just do 4 times 5, which is 20. Then put those 2 zeros on the end of that number. So it's 2,000. Okay. In this example, we estimated the product. We got 2,000, which was perfect. Let's just go through the steps to make sure we remember how to find the actual answer. If we're not estimating, if we're trying to find the exact answer, we would do 38 times 53. We'll just do that over here. First thing we're going to do is 3 times 8, which is 24. Put the 4 down there, the 2 up there. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 2 is 11. Can't forget about our secret 0. We've got to put that there. That's a super important step. Okay, now we can get rid of that too. Now we're done with this 3, right? We're done with that. We're going to move on to the 5. 5 times 8 is 40. I'm going to put a 0 there and put my 4 up here. 5 times 3 is 15, plus 4 is 19. And then I can't forget to add them together. 4 plus 0 is 4. Now 1, 10, carry the 1, 2014. Look, that's the answer that they got over here, so we must have done it right. So in this lesson, not only do you need to know how to estimate, but you need to know how to find the exact problem too, the exact answer too, okay? We're going to go solve one more question. We'll just go over here to do some math practice. All right, we're going to do 68 times 32. 68 times 32, okay? This one, let's just estimate. We don't need to find the exact answer. We have a different video about that if you need to learn how to do that. We're just estimating. So when we estimate the product of 68 and 32, we need to round 68 to the nearest 10. 68 to the nearest 10 is what? Hopefully you said 70. 8 makes it round up to 7, so 70. 32 rounded to the nearest 10 is what? Hopefully you said 30, so we're going to do 70 times 30. Remember, we can forget about those 2 zeros. We can just put them right here if we want. And we just do 7 times 3, which is 21. So our answer is 2,100. So that is how we find, or that is how we estimate the product of two numbers. We round them and then we multiply them. Remember, product is multiply. Okay, now we're going to talk about something a little bit different. It's kind of like the opposite. We're going to learn how to estimate the quotient of numbers. If we are estimating the quotient of a number, we need to know what the word quotient means. Product is multiplication, so let's think about it. Quotient is probably division. So we are going to estimate the quotient of 1,845 divided by 6. Okay, this one's a little bit tricky. Okay, there's not a perfect way to know how to do it. You don't have to round to the nearest 10 or have to round to the nearest 100. There's not one specific way that you have to do it. You're just going to think, what number could 6 go into easily? Okay, we know that 6 can't go into 1, so it's not going to be that. So let's think about 18. Can 6 go into 18? Yes, it can. So instead of doing 1,845, we're just going to do, like it says down here, 1,800, because 6 can go into 18. 6 can go into 18 how many times? 3 times. And then look, you have 1 0 here, 1 0 here. You're going to put those 2 zeros over here. Okay? So 6 goes into 18 3 times, and then you take those 2 zeros and move them over. Okay? 1,800 divided by 6 is 300. Okay? We are going to practice a few more because I know these are a little bit tricky. Okay? The first one that we're going to do, we are going to do 1,438 divided by 7. Okay? 1,438 divided by 7. Okay, can 7 go into 1? No, 7's too big. Can 7 go into 14? Ah, yes, it can. So we're going to just make the other two numbers, the 3 and the 8, we're going to make those zeros. So 1400, because we are just estimating. We're just taking our best guess. And 7 can easily go into 1,400. So that's what we're going to do. Remember, for this part, this is a 0, that's a 0. I'm just going to put those 2 zeros in my answer. And I'm going to do 7 goes into 14 how many times? 2 times. So my answer is 200. Let me just show you over here what that looks like. 200 times 7. So if I did my math right, my answer should be 1,400. Let's see. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 2 is 14. Is that my answer? Perfect. So then I did that one right. Okay. We're going to do one more problem and see if we can get the right answer. Okay, we're going to do 2,499 divided by 8. Okay, now this is what I said. You're not rounding necessarily to the nearest 100 or the nearest 1,000. You're just looking at what could 8 go into. Well, we know 8 cannot go into 2, but 8 can go into 24, right? Even though 2,499 would round up to 2,500 if we were rounding to the nearest 100. That's not what we're doing because 8 doesn't go into 25, but 8 does go into 24. So when we're estimating quotients, that's what we're looking for. We know those facts, right? 8 times something is 24, not 25. So 8 times what is 24? We're going to make these zeros, 2,400. 8 times what is 24? 8 times 3 is 24, and then I've got those 2 zeros that I'm just going to put in my answer. Again, let's check it. 300 times 8, my answer, I should get 2,400. Do I get 2,400? Yes, I do, so that must be my answer. So when you're doing these problems on the quiz that you're going to take, you need to look at what number you're dividing it by. Okay, this one we're dividing by 8. And you're going to say, okay, 8 can't go into 2, but 8 can go into 24, right? So you're going to round it to 2,400. 8 can also go into 16, right? But this number is way, way too small. This number is way closer to this number than 1,600. Okay, so you have to estimate or guess what number 8 can go into that's close to the number that you have. Hopefully that makes sense for you. This is your very first video for your lesson. So you now have watched the lesson just like in class. Now it's time for you to do homework. We did something special for you. All of us 4th grade math teachers decided instead of giving you 20 minutes or 20 problems for homework, we decided if you listen to this video, you only have to do 10 problems for homework. Okay, so you're going to go on Canvas and you're going to go to the quiz for today. It'll say homework 93 right under this video. It will say Wednesday, homework 93, and you're going to click on that quiz and you're going to take the quiz. It's 10 questions. It's really just your homework. Okay, it's multiple choice. I want you to try as hard as you can. Okay, try as hard as you can on this homework. You can do it again if you mess up. So if you take the quiz and you get 7 of them right and you miss 3 of them, if you want, you can go back in and do it again. The questions will be the same. You'll have to find what the right answers are, okay? But you can try it again if you'd like to, because that will improve your grade, okay? Homework 93. So go on Canvas and do that homework. Let me know if you have any questions. Great job, guys. You're awesome. Good luck.